Into the Nexus is a production of amove.tv. Bookmark Amove TV for other great video games and esports podcasts. Into the Nexus is sponsored by listeners like you via patreon.com/ITN. Greetings and welcome back, everybody. This is Into the Nexus, the podcast all about Heroes of the Storm. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and I'm joined, as always, albeit a day earlier than usual, by Mr. Kyle Fergusson. Hey, Kyle.
Hi, Garrett.
How you doing this week? Things are, people are scared out there, Kyle.
Yeah, it's a bit spooky when the placement system seems to be a little confused at the moment. It seems support Apocalypse wasn't our only Apocalypse, and there's been a bit of trouble with some getting into logical positions for the next season.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that's, you know what, that's it. That's the show, everybody.
We did it. Well done. It was great seeing you guys.
Good job. Glad you came. Throw a tip into the Patreon. Thank you very much. Yeah, man, this didn't go smoothly.
There's a lot of new features with it. It seems that something borked is the only answer. I have been okay. I'm fantastic, in fact. I just finished my placements about an hour or two ago and ended up in Diamond 1 about 300 points higher than when I left, which going 6-4 means I did exactly what would have happened if placements never happened. So in sight of everything that's happening around right now, people going 8-2, previous Grand Masters like Steph going 8-2 and ending up in Plat 2, and then we're hearing about Diamond players being shot down to Silver, playing alongside Bronzes. It's pretty weird out there, and my experience was very sane. Actually, I had excellent back and forth matches today.
All right. Mine's been bizarre. I haven't played a ton of Hero League, but I did manage to log 3 of my placement games, and I went on instant tilt, Kyle. Instant tilt. Because I load into my first game and I see nothing but folks more than 3 leagues lower than where I was before, like in terms of numbers. As you know, last season went from Plat 4 to Gold 1. Wasn't feeling great. Kept playing. Ended up in Gold 3. Decided to just call it quits on Hero League because I was getting mighty tilted with the play I was seeing. And come back this season and the game 1 just silvers as far as the eye could see. So I entered tilted, Kyle. Entered tilted, and I lost that first game. So I'm concerned.
It's an interesting time, right? We just got the personal adjustment. It feels like games should be a culmination of the skills you present across them, but we still have this very weighted time period, particularly in the first 3 matches we've heard, for placements. And it just leaves things feeling a little backwards, and then we're all establishing goals, we're all trying to improve, but we still have the Grand Master and the Master Awards, which are that special version of the mount. And these 3 things now just don't connect anymore.
What do you mean? What 3 things?
The rewards for getting to the top tier, the placements themselves, and personal adjustment.
Should they connect?
Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe it's okay that, Grand and Masters get this better version of the mount. Maybe not better, but more decorated. I feel like we really should motivate people for more achievable goals, particularly if the matchmaker can throw somebody in an oddity.
Well, I don't think they were planning for the matchmaker to throw people into oddities, Kyle.
Right.
I think this was a mistake. I don't think this was planned. I don't think the Heroes team's goal was for the majority of the discussion on the Reddit this week being collections of confused stories. So and so went X and Y in their placements and placed something insane in both directions, mind you. But I feel like at least right now, I mean, not your story, but our generalization has been people placing lower than you would have expected. But you're also seeing people place significantly higher than they would have expected based on both previous placement and how their current, this season placement games went.
Right, we're hearing going 2-8, that's 2 wins, from bronze to gold 1, and that's pretty backwards. So we actually have a statement from Blizzard here, basically saying that they're aware of this, and there seems to be an issue with the internal MMR seeding. Do they are they going to go case by case and drag and drop the person into the new league? That's easy to do with streamers. You could say, oh, there's Steph. She's always battling it out with Grandmasters and Master League. We'll just pick her up and drop her over there. But to the dude at home, what do you do?
I don't know, Kyle. I mean, like I said, I kicked the show off with I am concerned. But I've been concerned for a while, and this is it's not affecting me any differently than I was affected last season in a negative fashion. I find it odd that I ended up in the state that I am in at the moment. My other 2 games of placements that I played went fine. Both wins. I felt that being matched up against silver players that it should probably be easy to pick up wins, and it relatively was. So my first game being a loss was a combination of me going, why am I here? And our healer disconnecting right at level 16. We got level 16. We were ahead. We're like, yeah. And Morales just goes, pew.
No.
And I'm just sitting there like, no, I fought through my tilt. I was not stoked, dude.
What were you on for that?
On that game, Sonya. And it was what battleground was it? Was it Infernal Shrines? I think it might have been Infernal Shrines. No, never mind. No, sorry, it was Braxis.
Oh, so you were solo lane?
No, I wasn't. We were kind of, because of I don't know what, we decided to move around quite a bit. And it actually ended up working in our favor. We're just winning fights all over the map and got a lead. And then Morales went, pew. But,
that's a shame.
Yeah, I was doing my best to just be like, this is what the team wants to do. Instead of fighting them, I'm just going to go with the flow and do my best to outplay wherever I happen to currently be located. And it was working for a while until the healer died. Well,
I was
DC.
Interested if you were solo laning, because that has gotten really interesting, actually.
Oh, has it?
I'm a big fan.
I have the other 2 games that I played, which were my wins. I got to kind of execute the strategy I was excited to execute. I've been talking since BlitzCon now about how I'm very excited about how I hope that these laning changes spell the resurgence of specialists. So my second Hero League placement game, I played Zagara. My third Hero League placement game, I played Nazebo, and they went extremely well. Very, very, very well. And I'm not here to talk smack. I'm not here saying I don't belong in silver, but man, those zombie walls landed every time.
Yep. And that's great for you to say. That's really great. We talked about this in the past, kind of what each league's difficulty is. And so often we see lots of bronze and silver players picking up things like Vala for these heavy executions. But in fact, bronze is about XP and silver has been about production, using your abilities and making sure that every bit of that text is used. So something like Zagara, kind of like to go back to StarCraft for half a second, a Zergling Muta combo, it's all about tearing them apart because they can't manage everything you're doing. Or with your Nazebo's case, which is a little of both, there's people who just plain stand still a lot in lower leagues, and you can crush them with things that punish that like a zombie wall.
Yeah, we're not even saying still, just and this also, I think this might be, actually, I've stumbled into another point I wanted to make today and kind of forgot about it. I think this is also an artifact of the camera being pulled back. When you have more vision, when you have more information, because you have a larger field of view, I think it's now a little easier to predict how the enemy's going to move. Whether it's based off of incoming minion waves or mercenaries, or just having a better view of your own team and how they're moving. At least I've seen. Again, it's probably compounded with the fact that I think I'm a little lower than I should be. And now being able to see more of the map. I thought I was going to have issues with my skill shots, and I really haven't.
I've been a little shallow on my hungering arrows this week.
I haven't picked up volley yet. That's the one I'm sure I'm going to miss, hungering arrows, but I have been landing far more roachling pods and zombie walls than I was in the past.
That makes sense. I had the same problem on a number of characters this week, particularly auto attackers. Stutter stepping was the biggest hit. Skill shots weren't that hard. It was feeling safe at what was previously 5 range and now feels like 3 due to the camera. I feel like I'm in that Tychus Cassia danger zone when actually I'm still at maximum range.
I haven't really thought of that. I haven't gotten the feeling that I'm closer or further than before, just that I'm smaller than before, Kyle, and that the sprays now are massive. They're larger than some heroes. Yeah. Which I actually like. They were pretty easy to miss before. Now you're making a statement when you slam a spray down.
I had a great moment with this Masters Alarak that I ended up 1v1ing, and I was Artana. So we had a little bit of Protoss off here. And we both understood immediately, both placing, the orb change. We knew that we wanted each other's orbs. We wanted to deny each other's orbs. So we ended up just not fighting at all, as both of us tried to jockey for these things. It made it way more interesting because there was something to do. It wasn't just, I am beat by this matchup, and do they know the matchup, right? Like, we're always talking about Sonya, who does, in that sort of sense, need a nerf at some point because she's just dictating the solo lane. Everything's about, can you counter Sonya and how you work against her. That was out the window. It didn't matter here because it was all about, can you get that? If I dash over there, if I push myself, can I get it? It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also, dude, there's a weird, are you experiencing this weird tiny little mental mini game where you're just like, if I don't attack the minion wave too much, they might kill my wizard, and then I'll get an extra orb, and then I'll kill their wizard and get their orb, and I'll have a slightly more control over the regen globes. Dude, are the most dangerous. They are. I've confirmed. My concerns from last week are validated. The most dangerous thing in the game right now are regen orbs.
It's nice, though. It's that reward of information, a dopamine hit, if you will. Yeah. As Kael'thas goes, Flame Strike on the lane, and you go, you boob. No one's going to get that orb. Nice lane clear, and then you grab it up and get in his face with your extra healing.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the other thing, right? Yeah, when I'm seeing people clear really far away, I'm just like, what are you doing? They're going to get that orb.
I've also really enjoying the slower lanes, the amount of time we have to actually develop a rotation. If someone's in a bad spot, you can rotate them out without going, oh, you're stuck in the bottom lane? Well, objective soon. Just keep it cool down there. And they're like, oh, I'm getting rocked by Sonya. Someone please help us. We'll do it eventually. It'll come up. Now we're actually rotating. It's just more interesting. I'm very pleased.
Sylvanas is scaring the crap out of me right now. I had a game against her earlier. I think it was on Zagara, and she shut the tower down. And I was just like, hey, guys, apparently I need help because my towers aren't doing anything. And I'm out of juice. I don't remember that ever happening before. It didn't seem as bad, but yeah, being able to shut those towers off is scary, man.
Yeah, she's everywhere right now, particularly her map picks. And again, getting rid of double support comps made room for the map picks and the specialists again. So it's cool that we're expanding in that way. But I'd have to say the only thing I don't like at the moment, and I know I will come to appreciate it and see the strategy in it, are the objective markers. I feel like I'm always running for that nuke or that curse, and then I'm going, wait a minute, that's not live yet. And I'm not utilizing that information, which I know I should be. I just don't know how yet. And that's exciting. When you see 2 nukes on the bottom half of Warhead Junction, I guess we should control the bottom half of the map for whenever that pops. Get some mercs going in the top lane and whatnot. We just don't know how.
Time Time heals all confusion, Kyle.
It does. And in fact, it healed some other confusion too, just an hour ago, it seems, before we started this show. Dylan Bates, community manager, posted about the placement apocalypse, if you will.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Yeah, yesterday's patch, a number of players unfortunately encountered an issue causing them to place at ranks that were significantly different from where they had ended the previous season. And they go on from there. Diagnostic of the problem shows they're working on a fix. Once completed, they will reset the Hero and Team League records of any affected accounts. So there you are.
What does that mean?
You're going to have to do another 10 placements if you have filed a report that you are well outside of your placement range.
I'm okay with that.
Seems fair.
Yeah, I think it's a fair fix. I mean, how the hell else do you do it, right? Just, here, everyone, have inflated E-Peens. Here's 2 ranks for you, 3 ranks for you, 5 ranks for you. Just go nuts. We're
right,
not sure
like if you're
right.
knocked down, free rank up. Well, that's not quite, in the case of many of these people, that is nowhere near the sort of adjustment they needed. So if their MMR gets set back to what it was, and then they do a fresh set, this shouldn't be an issue. I guess the only thing that could cause a problem is the later we get into the season, the more that bell curve can develop, and it can be difficult to end up in the 2 sides of the spectrum.
I believe the Sylvanas that bullied me is in our chat room right now, and I'm particularly excited about that. Dude,
really?
You annoy the hell out of me.
Nice. Oh, it was Carl. Fantastic.
That's just phenomenal. All right. Well, before we move into the news, we need to take a quick Patreon break, and we always thank our patrons, but this is a PSA, an announcement. Last episode, we talked about Patreon's announced changes to their fee structure and how we were rather concerned about them, especially since we are a per paid post Patreon, yada, yada, yada. Forget all of that, apparently, because also announced today from Patreon is that they're not going forward with any of it, apparently. They're just going to leave it the way it is for now. They're going to pursue other ways to fix the issues that they were trying to address with their announced changes. Along the lines of 2017's famous "We're sorry we hear you" headlines, you can now add Patreon, because that's what we got from them today.
So patience won the day, and a bit of a holiday mix-up.
Yeah. So hey, folks, if you're out there, whatever podcast, whatever Patreon you're backing, if you wrote a letter to Patreon to be like, "Yo, this ain't cool," thank you.
We appreciate that,
because we did too.
Yes, I didn't think it was real. My reaction was, if we can just wait, surely this won't come true. And it didn't, luckily, after a bit of lost sleep. So we're back. We'll, of course, be letting you guys know how to continue supporting the show. If you're looking for other support options, we'll roll out those as well, because this was a little spooky.
Very much so. Very much so. But anyway, yeah, Patreon's fine. So at least for now, I mean, if you changed your pledge to max out and cap the monthly payment, you don't need to do that anymore. You can go back to whatever it is you want to give per episode. And we thank you for doing that. So, huzzah, we did it! And thank you to everyone else who has supported us since. We actually have picked up new patrons even since that announcement came out. So thank you for the support, everybody. Let's dive in this week's Heroes of the Storm news.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
Put me to the stage.
Click the play button and let's get started.
All right, so we talked about the changes a little bit, but let's get into what actually hit this week. It was a massive patch, man. First of all, Weinzierl is here. Hooray! We're in the Christmas spirit. The holiday season is here. I have started watching Christmas movies. I have started playing Christmas music in the house, and now it's arriving in my Blizzard games.
The cookie's nice. I thought the short was pretty cute.
I didn't see the short.
Yeah, they did a little Joey Ray Bar 2 action where Malfurion and Vala were feeling a little down for the holidays. And Probius came in and cheered him up.
I need to go and watch that.
It's nice. It shows it's 2015 a little bit, because these are in-game models, which we have since shrunk, who look even better as they've gotten smaller and smaller. But still, just it has that, right? It doesn't matter what the graphics were in a Pixar movie. They always get you right at the end. And Blizzard's getting good at those heartstring tugs.
Yeah. You got one of the gifts that you were asking for, Kyle. You were very jealous about Hanzo's ability to see the walls, to see the specific geometry that he can interact with his arrows. Some other heroes can now see walls the same way. Lucio and Junkrat now have the same kind of wall vision that Hanzo has.
Yeah, something I think everybody would like to see on every hero, or, I mean, basically in the Diablo term, give us all the clickables. Let us turn off everything we want. Let us turn on all the random things we want.
Yeah. And then, did you start playing without reading any of the official live patch notes? Because I feel like I looked at these notes so many times that I just started playing.
Yeah, I was about to ask there what you thought of Hanzo, but I can hear our listeners screaming because we've been talking about Hanzo for 2 months now. I get it. It's a long road.
Here's what I think of Hanzo, because I'm not going to play him. It's not for me. It's not my jam. That auto attack is deceptively long. I've died to it a couple times this week.
Yeah.
But I've got that. You've got that shred of your health left, and you stay 1 extra second to get one last hit in on something. Not even Hanzo. He's gone. And then you start to turn to retreat, and just the Hanzo auto attack comes out of nowhere and just murders you.
It reminds me of playing a Battlefield game where you jump in the tank as the gunner and the tank just starts driving over a hill while you're trying to fire somewhere else, and eventually all you have is terrain to look at. Except for you do it to yourself. So I'm trying to aim these sweet shots, but Hanzo is walking forward while I'm doing so, and then I go, oh no, I don't want you to... I was just trying to get in range, Hanzo. I didn't want you to die.
Well, I asked you if you started playing without reading the notes, because I did, and I got into the game, and we're sieging down this front wall, and in the back of my head, I'm thinking, as soon as that final tower falls, I'm gonna jack this person up beside this side wall that's at full health, and the wall didn't fall, Kyle. The side wall did not fall, and that's because they decided to not make side walls automatically blow up.
After listening to feedback, they kept it, even though it was degenerative gameplay, according to our devs.
Oh man, that just seems a little strong, right? I think they're hurting the wall's feelings.
I think they're hurting Chen's feelings more than anybody else. Poor guy has his image at the top of every balance patch.
I didn't even think
the Chen mains go, oh.
I didn't even think to check. Do they still give sight? Because we mentioned last week that could have been a middle ground where they just get rid of the sight, for example.
As far as I know, they're still given sight, no health change or anything like that.
Okay, fair enough.
I used one for a Leaping Strike Escape today, so I'm happy they're there.
Hammer got buffed.
Yeah, did she? Because she's only up 12%.
Did you say she's only up 12%, Kyle?
Yeah, only 12%.
How high of a jump would you like to see?
Well, she is currently the 6th highest winning hero in Hero League. Granted, some Shogal friends had a good time yesterday, so that's skewing the numbers a little bit. But a lot of heroes came out of this real good. In fact, most of our stealthies came out of this patch really good.
Yeah, I'm seeing people draft Valera. And this is alarming me.
People are saying it has esports viability because of the duration of the silence. And with off-support tanks coming in like Zarya and Tyrael, in fact, having quite a showing since the support nerf, there might be an accompanying person up with Valera, so she's not as isolated as she was previously in the double support comp.
Yeah, I saw a really good Valera earlier on it was a Sky Temple game, and you can see them, but you still really got to be paying attention, and not everyone is, and even if you are, sometimes there's not anything you can do about it. You know, if the Valera is keeping an eye on your mana, for example, I was on Zagara, I was out of mana, so I could see her, but what am I going to do? I couldn't even throw a Baneling at her.
That's true. That information is shared with the enemy, and I've made plenty of surges forward for my team because I noticed the support is out of mana. I mean, these guys are basically bush camping, and when you walk through that bush, they're invisible and they will kill you. Ambush's teleport's doing a lot for her as well. So I think in terms of win rate, Nova has definitely won the most, but Valera is not dead from quick match if you're hoping for that.
Yeah, no. Although I think you especially were singing Nova's praises. Like, of all the stealths, Nova's going to do just fine with these changes.
Yep.
And it appears you were right, but it also appears that all the other stealthies are doing just fine as well.
Yeah, Samuro took a little bit of a hit. He usually hovers around the top win rates due to lower leagues and is now down to a flat 50. He was probably the most argued about stealth hero just because they reworked where his power is into him rather than his illusions. It's tough to say if it's going to be a benefit or not over time. Right now, it feels like a pretty big playstyle nerf.
Yeah. Although I'm sure if you go through and look at specific battlegrounds, there's probably some where he still soars above other potential picks.
Right, and then you're also dealing with Sammy mains because who else is sort of drafting Sammy at the moment, and things can get pretty skewed when you're looking at hot slug win rates, which depend.
Right. So, well, that's very cool. The Nazeebo bug was fixed, by the way.
Yep.
Still pick him. He's still very good.
He's a great option if you have lots of map awareness, and I wouldn't even say mini map awareness here, just talking about area control. If you have a mind for that sort of thing, Nazeebo is a fantastic way to climb, and you can do it with any darn build as long as you're optimized.
Yeah, I did some work on an Infernal Shrines game with Mr. Naz today.
I like to go Dead Rush over everything else. Your big caveat there, if you're interested in getting into Nazeebo, is Dead Rush is really good at spreading poison. So do it on a map where you are going to get your level 20 online, your Vile Infection. Otherwise, you should probably do that Spider build or that Toad build, depending what the enemy team looks like.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Dead Rush. Zombie Nazeebo is still my favorite way to play. Although I'm finally landing spiders, Kyle, and again, I don't know how much it is that I think I may be noticing some weirdness with the matchmaker, or
take advantage of it, man.
If this camera is just really doing wonders for me, I can't tell you which one it is. I feel like I'm learning nothing.
You and a lot of other people, though, including those folks who, probably don't file a report to get their MMR reworked because they went from bronze to platinum off of 2.8.
Yeah, well, if you were extremely annoyed like I have been by getting dismounted upon entering the mines or leaving the mines, that doesn't happen anymore. You stay mounted through the mine entrances and exits, which... Oh, thank God. Kyle, I don't like haunted mines.
Well, you should be happy. It's not in the rotation right now.
Oh, I know.
Wait, I brought up the rotation. You won't be happy. Never mind.
I'm never happy with any rotations. They're it happens too often.
Yeah, no haunted mines are our 2-lane maps right now are just Braxis and Battlefield of Eternity.
Gotcha.
I'm happy with that.
It's good. It's good. Towers of Doom forts are worth less XP now, so keep that in mind if you're...
Yeah, this seems to be a restructuring bug. The towers on Towers of Doom are unique. They upgrade halfway through the match and are worth more. And it seems like after the upgrade, they're actually worth less XP. This is actually very exciting if you are a Team League player, because there is, much like Hanamura, a very dastardly Team League strategy right now where you stack the bottom with all 5 people, ignore all other lanes, and repeatedly walk in your sappers. And that's all you do. You bully over and over again. You run things like stitches or ETC because you try to dive the wall, the multi-shot, the big core defense, and try to get them out of there onto your sappers and get them blown up. So by reducing the XP, this is a bug, this isn't intentional, but by reducing the XP of these repeat tower destructions that they get this level lead on and then stack the bottom because they don't want to soak, this strategy could go away a little bit, and I'd be happy for that.
Well, if it's a bug, expect to see it fixed, but I bet they'd be concerned about a strategy like that as well, so maybe they'll keep an eye on that and see if maybe it all comes out in the wash.
Right. It's not fun. It reminds me very much of that Hanamura, let's plow everything down and get our super mine catapult thing from that era. it's something that you have to, like Garrosh as well. It's something you have to be aware of that exists in order to counter it, and you're gonna lose to it probably the first time you ever see it, and then you're gonna play with different friends the next time and lose it to it again. So it can be a bit much. I've been actually thinking a lot about Garrosh because I've been thinking about that strategy. You know, what do you do in these unfun kind of situations? Is there something Blizzard could do? And I think the way you fix Garrosh, despite him continuing to fall in win rate and not really seeing a lot of play outside of his 92% ban rate, is get rid of the grab. I think the Q is a bit busted. And if they weren't afraid of making a better Diablo, I bet you that would have been a charge. I bet you he would have charged in, exposed himself to the damage, rather than bringing people to him and then toss him.
And you don't want Garrosh exposing himself.
No, it's quick. His shirt's already off.
Well done. Well done. And then there's a popular opinion going around that towers in general just don't have enough health. And yeah, I think I agree with that.
I don't know yet. I hold back my opinion here because I think when we get to towers, we start to walk away and then go, "Oh right, yeah, this won't burn the ammo, will it?" And then we turn around and stand there and burn the towers.
I've been diving for them, man.
Right.
If I have it used to be, early game Zagara. I'm gonna have a lot of Zagara anecdotes, guys, today, and I don't apologize. I'm having a blast.
Nothing wrong with Mainin, man. Nothing wrong with Mainin.
Early Zagara I used to budget my mana, But now if I think I have maybe 8 seconds of free time against a wall, just everything comes out. I burn as much as possible because I'm just like, I'm going to get a tower as soon as possible because it's always going to have ammo and I want to be able to move around lanes as soon as humanly possible. So I'll just get rid of this wall.
Also, in a solo queue environment, it means you don't have to address that lane again, which is a really powerful move. This is what happens on Braxis, and you don't see it in lower leagues. In fact, I just came from coaching Jeff Kanata in his Hero League game. His first placement, we won it for him on Braxis there. One of the big strategies is to make sure that the first Zerg wave, when you win it, gets that top forward so that you can switch your solo lane back down or cover the lane that is now being destroyed and the full 4-man can push further. So on Cursed Hollow, for instance, you burn that bottom fort. We never have to go back there for the most part. It's soaked because we'll grab it when it hits the wall.
Yeah. It kind of dictates your movement for you, and it's easier to deal with. That's a good point. And it's been working. I feel extremely impactful when I get those towers down. It's like, all right, dudes, I did my job. Who else needs help?
Here's a strategy that we haven't talked about in has to be over a year. Do you remember early game? Remember early game comps?
Yeah.
We used to think about this before Vile Infection came around. We thought about late game comps. But one of the things we used to do is say Lost Vikings, Dahaka, Garrosh, but the strategy was gone by then. These guys need to be backed up by Greymane, Li Ming, Zagara, Cho'Gall to an extent because his math works that way. These characters that are extremely powerful in the early game, but maybe increase in power slower than others. For instance, most heroes go up 4% power per level, and Zagara goes up about 3.5 as our previous understanding. So Zagara having a good XP machine like Lost Vikings or Dahaka means she's more powerful and takes advantage of your early game actual power spike. Now with this new laning phase, we should all be thinking like that. When you see a Greymane, you should think about how can you feed XP to him to make sure he can go as ham as possible. Same with your Li Mings, your Illidan's, all these sort of guys. Anyone who's exposed.
And those are concepts that are not alien to older, more, classical MOBAs, but it's different how you feed XP to those folks, but it's the same basic concept. You want these characters that have these earlier game spikes to be able to take advantage of them.
And in the same way, you want to make sure you don't overdraft for those situations. You can have a really pretty early game comp that falls apart in the face of something like Nazebo if they delayed for that.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about the lane phase. I'm excited that there is an extra layer on top of our drafting strategy now. It's cool. I saw Raynor this week. I saw Master League Raynor because we got to the pick. They wanted to go Vala. We realized we didn't have enough support to run the Vala with a Brightwing, so they went Raynor because he has self-heal. And it rocked.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Really cool to see.
God, dude, that might be one of the cooler stories I've heard this week.
Yeah.
That's great. But yeah, man, season has started. The first season of 2018 has started, even though it's still technically 2017.
We get a big long season as well.
We do. Yeah, it's going through March 6th. Week of March 6th is when the first season of 2018 will end. And we're getting ourselves a shiny new boar. Yeah, look at that guy. I want this. I want this mount, Kyle.
But you can get the unarmored one easily enough.
Good. Also, thanks for the faith, Kyle. Thanks for the faith.
Yeah. Well, you just got to play some team league, but what is the actual? This is where things get kind of weird, right? You get better rewards for placing lower if you played with friends. Hero League, you gotta get to season 1 Mount Diamond. No, Plat. Yeah, you got to get to Plat Hero League to even get the boar's basic form.
Right.
And I think that, it's beyond your control in some ways. You can rock it. You can kick as much butt as you want. But you're not in control of everything. I don't know. I've been feeling a little Tech Issues Heroes of the Storm 2016 on my stream recently. Not because of tech issues, but when tech issues would happen in esports, they turn to the camera and they're like, well, from time to time, these sort of things happen. And they start explaining and trying to cover the space as to why tech issues could possibly happen in a entire esport based on the technology. It's a waste. Of course, there's going to be tech issues. Those are going to happen. And same thing happens in my channel right now. We have a loss, and people are in the chat are trying to dissect the draft or what we could have done differently. And I'm just trying to fill time until that queue pops because losses happen. Sometimes you simply don't gel with your allies, and these complaints of people about the ranked season are often coming from sources that are only playing the beginning and the end of the season, the two most chaotic places on Earth. There's this nice healthy middle you should all try out. Give it a month. You'll probably forget about it because it's not as exciting anymore.
Yeah, it's not what everybody is talking about. It's become,
Right.
You show up to your job. It's not a new job. You're not going to tell everybody about it every time you go out to dinner for the next 2 weeks. You're in the middle of it. Oh, what happened today, honey? Same old, same old.
So what do? You incentivize people to play mid-season? Well, then you're going to come in and ruin my nice peaceful time. I don't want that either. So
I think, fun anecdotes aside, I think you kind of hit on a good point too, though, which is if you're looking to improve, yes, I'll absolutely think about your losses, review certain losses and try and learn from them. But not all losses are made equal from a constructive standpoint. There are some that it's, next game, let's just move on. Like the one where our Morales DC'd at the 16 level spike, so we weren't able to do anything with it and got reverse swept and died.
And maybe that frustration will only build. And, this is just merely a theory, but with the early game being a chance to eke out a lead and still the chance to blue shell the whole game in one sweet fight towards the end, maybe we will see more frustrated people, and the strategy would have to develop to be more careful. But there's going to be a very tilting time where people are going to get picked off by themselves and make those mistakes.
Yeah. And man, like I said, I started off, I hit those placements and just like instant tilt because of what I saw. But 3 games into it, plus the unranked matches I played this week, plus the quick matches I played this week, actually just being able to get into this patch with normal queue times, log games, not just play on the BlizzCon floor or not just wait as long as I ever have on a PTR for a game. If I take a step back and divorce myself from my own EPing, I'm really happy with this patch overall. The games have felt good. I'm getting to play the way I want, and it's at least so far working. And I don't know if it always will. And people every now and then love to be like, "Oh, he changed his mind." Well, that happens with facts and time moving in a linear fashion. I might not always think this way, but right now at the gate, overall, I'm really happy with the changes that they've made. I like the state of the game. I like the flow of the game a lot right now.
And Hanzo is pretty decent. He has a rough release, as to be expected with such a skill-shoddy hero. But he has a place, and boy, his place would have sucked in double support land. Oh, man. He came out at the right time.
Yeah. So are you still double supporting, man? Speaking of which.
I am. I still do show that Uther if I'm in the bottom half. If I'm early on, I'm showing Greymane or Artanis. Same philosophy as previous weeks. Bottom, there's a good chance someone doesn't want to support down there. So if I'm in that bottom half, we can go ahead and show that. Showing the Uther usually means, in my league, we start to see those Vala, Greymanes. Maybe someone throws a Tyrande in there and we're good to go. If I don't get that second support, I usually move on to Stukov, more at Malfurion. I'm just loving Stukov for funsies.
Yeah, I see myself, at least in the near future, playing everything except Assassins. Just, been drafting recently, and every time I'm just looking at everything, I'm like, yeah, I'll do anything but damage. I don't know. It's just, it's clicking right now for me.
Well, there's a thought process that's been going around for a long time throughout World of Warcraft and old MOBAs. The hardest role is tanking because you have to have the most game knowledge. And in your case, I'm really excited for you to do things split push wise like Zagara because of your choices of what lane to push, where you're going to put those mercenaries. Your Nazebo is probably very powerful because you know which targets to isolate or how to control that battlefield. Whereas we put you on Vala, and yeah, you want to kill the squishies, but you need all this stuff to back you up and all these things to go right in that scenario.
Yeah, I think Vala was the beginning of the end for my confidence. You need to have a lot of it to make Vala work. And you don't just need to believe in it. There needs to be execution by players other than yourself.
Right.
So, yeah, I hope this holds. I hope at least the little resurgence of specialist play holds. I mean, Nazebo's fine. Nazebo's been fine, but I like that I can switch around. I'm even looking at Zul. It hasn't happened yet, but I was looking at the battlegrounds today and thinking to myself, who do I want when? And Zul popped into my brain a few times. So
he's cute. His problem, a lot like Hanzo, has a really interesting problem where his damage is too slow. So to beat Hanzo, much like you beat Gul'dan, you go double support and it's easy now, or one of these regen tanks, because by the time he gets out that next hit, you will have healed that previous hit off. Hanzo, Gul'dan, these are really powerful against solo Uthers. Maybe something like, well, certainly Ana. Morales can be kind of an interesting one because you've got this 1-to-1 heal beam. I'm healing you right now. You Gul'dan corruption the entire field, and she has to go a little for you, a little for you, a little for, and ends up screwing her up, and you win that fight. So with your choice between specialists, what I would really say is watch for the moment where you can be decisive. And Zul just doesn't really have that. He has a nice damage spike when he can get Bone Spear. He's got some tricky talents, but people have to walk into you first.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying when I was thinking about Battlegrounds specifically. And really, I'm thinking Towers and I'm thinking Sky Temple. Because these are ones where people come to you. If you're fighting around the altar, if you're fighting around the temple, people are walking through smokestacks. And that's when you can hit them with a Bone Prison. And your Bone Prison is the signal to your team, like, okay, I guess this person dies now. But at the same time, too, I could just be playing Nazebo. I could just hit them with a zombie wall, give the same call, and probably not have to work as hard for the whole game.
Plus, in lower league, you're going to see tons of Sonias. If you're not early picking Sonia, you're probably fighting a Sonia. Sonias never auto-attack. You might as well still be bugged Nazebo. I see them 24/7. And it's something I have to remind some of my players sometimes, too. They go in and they go, slam, slam, spin, slam, slam. And I'm just like, take a break. Let out that one little sword, because that's what it takes to break his spell damage. Otherwise, you're just plowing into 40% resistance.
Yep. Yeah. So
my one problem with Nazebo is I wish people were okay with Ravenous Spirit. It only has a 3% lower win rate, a 60% lower pick rate, and sometimes the burst damage that it supplies over an entire battlefield is game winning. I wish that was okay.
But don't you just still take it sometimes, tell people to deal and help win fights?
In quick match, I do, but in Hero League, I don't.
Fair enough.
You're
a gentleman.
Get picked, and the Gargantuan lingers, and that's where the deciding factor is for me.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Plus, you're just ringing the bells. You're going, does someone want to interrupt me? Does this look interesting to anybody? Come swap me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this is where we were going to talk about performance-based matchmaking, but I think we pretty much hit all the big points right at the top of the show.
Yep. Yeah. Could have been a cleaner launch, I think, if we had that baked-in feature of letting us know where the points are coming from. Plus, we're doing placements, so we don't really know what personal points are going on in the background anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, great, excited, good future.
Yeah, like I said, overall, I think this is a really solid patch. Sadly, the thing that isn't working is the thing that creates the most volatile discussions in our community and has since the beginning of this game, which is the matchmaking. So people are going to get angry. Let me put it this way. This, I think, is actually an important thing to talk about, to report, to kind of get up in arms about. I thought people kind of overblew the Duststalker Rexar over in Hearthstone.
Wait, what happened there?
Long story short, the Death Knight he's not pulling beasts from the new beasts, and they've made an announcement saying that was intended, and everyone's like, well, wait, that means when cards rotate out, he's going to have even less beasts to pull from. This is crap, rah, 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 rah. And they're right. But I went to Reddit every day wanting to talk about the damn expansion, and that was the only conversation being had.
There's a lot of that, right? It's the, no Hanzo mains or Genji needs healing, and then you can go look at their account and they don't own Overwatch. We echo things. Gosh, I hated Austin Powers in high school so much. There's some movies that come out and you're just like, thank goodness I don't have to listen to that repeated in middle school over and over again. My parents wouldn't let me see it, so everyone's being like, yeah, baby, and I'm just, shut up. This has no meaning. What does Randy even mean? I know a guy named Randy. He's my best friend.
This is great. I wasn't allowed to watch Austin Powers either. I think it was when the sequel came out. I was finally able to watch it.
Good. Yes. Let's just skip the first one and all its family-friendly jokes and put you straight on the second. Perfect.
Irrelevant, nonetheless. It's been an interesting week for Heroes, man. I mean, am I crazy? I'm not just like playing devil's advocate to the popular opinion. I really do think that overall this patch is healthy. I mean, what do you think just overall? Like, take the schmutz that is the performance-based matchmaking issues out of it. What do you think of everything else?
I'm really pleased. I love the early game. I think we did this the right way. We made a new phase for Here's the Storm, a traditional MOBA phase that has already existed, gave their own spin on it, and didn't increase game time. That's a feat that they have performed here. And they deserve to celebrate. All drama aside, the team should be extremely proud of itself.
Cool. I think that's fair. I think it's really fair. Yes, they need to fix that. And they're aware of it. We now have 2 blue posts today saying that they're aware of it. They're looking into it. They're working on a fix. So it's coming. Everybody calm and play some games. There's still a lot to learn here. Just because you're getting thrown around, the game is pretty different. So take this time. And also now if you were affected, you're going to get the replace anyway. So keep playing and learning so that when you get hit with that extra placement, you get to get out there and do it right. So
it looks like on the 14th so if you wake up tomorrow morning or in the afternoon and you want to play Heroes and it is not available, the ranked modes, that is the time they're fixing it. They're not taking down the entire game. There is merely about an hour where you can't play ranked, where they're going to reset these for certain individuals.
Okay, so now taking the whole thing down. That's good. I'm going to need something to take my mind off of the fact that all I want to do is watch Star Wars until tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
There's a fancy new golden Leoric skin.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I haven't looked at it. I'm unspoiled on Wintervale as a whole, by the way. I haven't really gone and looked at the new skins. I did see the new Malfurion one because I ended up in a game with my buddy Gotti, and he got it, and that thing is gorgeous. But that's it. I haven't gone through and perused. I didn't watch the highlight video.
It's a nice spread. They have some, like the Maltheo one that's kind of, hot topic Halloween tacked on. That one's only 150 because it has, it doesn't really change the silhouette much. It doesn't really affect the character. It really makes those scarf hood droopy things super awkward. But the gingerbread is only like 600 shards, and there are some real money skins, and, that's the future of free-to-play.
They're hood tassels, by the way, Kyle. That's how he tightens his hood.
But they don't go into holes.
I don't think he has legitimate drawstrings, dude. I was making a joke.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, logically, maybe that's why he doesn't wield a two-handed scythe, because with two hands doing one weapon, you get really tangled.
Or it's just a really cool Blizzard design.
It's a cool design.
All right, let's thank some patrons, dude. Patreon.com/ITN is the place to go where you can support the show, and I'm so glad I don't have to hit this with any caveats this week. Florian M, Ryan, no last name given, Tao of Craft, Blaine H, and Cameron D. You are all next in line for the thanks. We don't do it as most recent. We literally do it in the order that the patrons signed up. And we're working our way through. We've never caught up, but thank you, everybody, for supporting us and continuing to support us in light of all the craziness that happened with Patreon this month. So, really appreciate it. If you like the show, check it out. Let's take an email. Let's wrap it up, Kyle.
Darkness stopped calling.
I hear the wilds call. Wait, nature calls.
Okay, tell them I'm not here.
Cade from Denver wrote into itncast@gmail.com and says, love the show and often find it useful and helpful for me and my wife, permanent team league partner, hell yeah, to help us make informed decisions for drafting on specific maps and play style that suits our team comp, etc. I've recently been trying to build up a good base of heroes I am confident with outside of my main Sylvanas. I know Sylvanas is set up to come in strong with the 2018 update, but I've been getting a lot of hate when I draft her recently, even in situations where I have a strong front line and relatively little burst to worry about. The hate doesn't bother me much, but it does confuse me as to why folks think she's a bad choice. She seems like a great choice for some lane pushing, and she has teamfight utility. I'm with you so far, Kate. This is why I love Sylvanas. So my first question is, am I missing something, or am I playing her incorrectly? My second question is, even if I have a large pool of heroes I am relatively confident with, 15 or so, I still occasionally run into situations where it isn't necessarily prudent or possible to take one of them. How should I approach a situation where I'm taking a hero I am not necessarily good with and try to make a success of the game? Thanks for reading. Hope to hear from you all. Kate C. from Denver, Colorado. Let's hit Sylvanas first.
Yeah.
And I would start with the easy answer, which is, you asked if you're missing something or playing her incorrectly. If people are mad as soon as you pick her, the way you play her is relevant to people's reaction.
That's true. If the anger comes after perhaps your level 10 pick, you might be able to make some assessments there. Kristen is actually doing her Hero League placements right now for the first time in 3 seasons. And it's not really motivated by all these changes or performance-based matchmaking. It's motivated by the fact that she's done enough Team League with the group that she just knows her stuff. She's my Merc taker. She does Sylvanas for us, as well as Sonya a lot of the time. Also Malthael, Illidan, anything that manages camps. People are getting mad. The game starts to go bad. People type a couple of choice words in the chat, and things fall apart. Because of her experience with the team, those don't upset her. She doesn't have chat off for the first time in 2 years because she just knows she's right. And if a troll gets in your face and they're playing well, that's when you can say this might have some value to it. Let's deduce if I need to change something about myself. But if they're just getting mad in the draft because of Sylvanas, which strikes me as daunting, just be yourself. Be yourself, man.
I have gone backwards from platinum to now silver over the course of the last few months. Somehow, maybe I'm just a Silver League player, man. Maybe I am. But Sylvanas has never not been first banned material on many battlegrounds in whatever league I was in.
So what for you are the Sylvanas trademarks or the skills that have to be under your belt to play her efficiently?
Haunting Wave, Haunting Wave, Haunting Wave. She lives or dies by Haunting Wave. I think the trap I fell into early was thinking that once you pick up her vulnerability talent for her dagger, that now I'm a shot caller, but you're not. It's an extremely subtle ability. It helps, but you should wait until you see someone lock on to a target and then throw it, not throw it and hope someone follows.
That's a great tip. We talk about blinding effective targets, making sure Thrall is actually Wind Furied in before you blind him with Johanna. Make sure Vala actually reaches some amount of stacks so that her auto attacks are doing something before you blind her in that key moment. And you're saying here vulnerabilities. That's a great thought process. If people aren't actually targeting your target at the moment you give that vulnerability, nothing's going to happen. Feels great. You did it, kid.
Yeah, but you're wasting a level 16 talent if you did not gain a kill off of it, or at the very least, removed so much health from that target that you put the fear of God in them and cause them to return to base.
It can be a really effective exercise to think about all your talents as Hearthstone cards and put your level 16 there at 8 mana. Would you cast 8 mana to do nothing? No. So use your talent effectively. Use its text.
Yeah, but back to Haunting Wave again. I think the early trap I fell into with Haunting Wave was just never ever using it offensively to play safe, to always have that escape, and at a certain point you just can't do it. It's wasted damage. It's wasted opportunities. Learn when to get aggressive with it, and you'll learn real fast. You will learn really fast because you know what? When you do it wrong, you're gonna die, and that's okay. Maybe try it in modes outside of Hero League. But try getting aggressive with it in whatever mode you can. Because the amount of times I have played with you, Kyle, in either Hero League or just a streamed environment, I don't think I've ever seen as many compliments of my play than when I'm on Sylvanas and I pick up that sweet kill that we didn't think we were going to get because I shot that Haunting Wave out and gained ground on the target we almost missed out on killing.
Well, a lot of that comes from your role, too. Like, no one's like, we all cheer when Lunara Poison gets that final blow, but no one's surprised, right? And Sylvanas kind of in the same way. Using your power spikes is the next thing to really check yourself in on. Windrunner, fantastic talent, allows you to get that fully recharged Withering Fire, have a second Haunting Wave. What if at 13, that was the very first time anybody ever saw you use an aggressive Haunting Wave?
What do you mean?
People expect. People learn from you. As you make an engagement, where should you target your stun on Illidan? Behind you. Why? Well, because he does a front flip and then dashes back, so you just put it where he's gonna be, right? Mm-hmm. And over the course of the game and those engagements, Illidan is continuing to inform you of his play style. If you aggressively Haunting Wave in every single fight, and I'm ETC, Uther, someone with some CC, I'm going to develop my strategy to stun you at the time that you have shown yourself to be most vulnerable. Do you like to leave it for the very end? Do you like to use it rather quickly? I'll learn this about you over the course of our game and punish you for it.
Well, and then you just tie that back into Doug Train's advice many moons ago when you were not on the show, where he said adjust your playstyle based on the abilities that you see come out. So if you're facing an ETC and you're worried about that stun, wait until you see the stun used to use the Haunting Wave. Adjust your play over the course of the game. Do your whatever your comfort Haunting Waves are, but the second you see ETC start to get whiff of that and use key abilities to wreck you for that, wait till he uses those key abilities and then start using it.
And of course, like we talked about earlier, you're going to lose some. There are some games where there are too many abilities, the peel is not there, and you can get locked in the back. In that case, I'd say give it your all and ignore the chat. Might as well try to make something happen.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And the other, I think the final, again, kind of trap thought with me was, early on I was always taught by you and everyone else, Sylvanas, early game hero. You want to win early with Sylvanas. But don't let it discourage you when the game goes too long, especially against something like a Nazebo. Like, it's going to be a tough battle, but you can win it. You just really have to work for it.
I think one of the real other traps about Sylvanas is what she should do during the objective. Because until you're 13 or so, your team fight can be a little limited. And when clearing the pit, you don't really have an advantage there on Infernal Shrines, or you're not really good at getting skulls. You're just good at the push part of it.
Right. Well, I mean, on something like Haunted Mines, if you're not good at getting skulls, you're good at taking mercs. Go take some mercs. But you're going to have to read the situation. Where are the enemies? Are they all in the mines? Are they not all in the mines? If they're not all in the mines, where are the other players? Can you safely take a merc camp?
Right. When you think of it like that, there should be no reason you should ever be caught in indecision. When you're thinking about, where should I go? I just died. I've rezzed up. All the lanes are covered. Which lane should I go join? Or what should I do on the map? You can let your hero inform all that for you and immediately do the most effective thing. ETC's been a lane by himself. That's not enough damage to do anything. Let's join him rather than the bottom lane that has a Lili and a Val at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anytime you can combine Sylvanas with another hero, the effectiveness just goes through the roof, man.
And that's where I think the fear of suggesting her to, for something like you, when you're trying to just escape from silver, get back to plat, crush it. I worry that Sylvanas might not be as powerful as Nazebo or Zagara in that case.
Yeah, because she is not, in my opinion, as good at solo pushing as those two particular heroes.
Yeah.
They don't require backup to really capitalize on what she brings to the table, which is shutting off the towers. Nazebo and Zagara just don't need to get in range of the towers in the first place.
Do you think there's a trap in Sylvanas as well of being over-merked? This happens with Stukov. You can be 2 mana efficient. You pick up Fetid Touch, you pick up 1 good spread, and all of a sudden you never have a mana issue in the world. You should have only done one of those and done something more offensive.
Are you saying Sylvanas taking Merc talents?
Yeah, like Merc Queen and then also stacking Barb Shot on top of that. Like, is that overkill? Do you only need 1?
I don't take either. I don't take either of those. I prefer an overflowing quiver and an unstable poison.
Yeah, for the lane minion explosion.
Right, because I'd rather be I can already take minions, or I can already take mercenaries, and with Sylvanas, I like taking them and just kind of letting them go and do their thing. I'm not there to support them. I then kind of peace out. Because like you were saying earlier with that Haunted Mines example, do I go to the mines? Do I take a merc camp, or do I just go clear a lane? Well, if the answer is clear a lane, taking Overflowing Quiver and Unstable Poison, you're much better at that now than you were without any talents. I just never want to march mercenaries as Sylvanas.
It's dangerous. You're giving away your position, gonna get ganked. But 2, in your build, you have time for mercenaries because you built this really fast lane clear character. And then you can go do other things. So much of the reason to have Kael'thas is not to have him soak a lane and clear it. It's so that if things go bad and walls being pushed down, you can send Kael'thas by himself to quickly blow it up so he can go do other things.
Right. And this is, I feel like this discussion is getting a little personal for me. I can already see the emails coming in. I'm not trying to say that it's wrong to walk the mercenaries, but I'm with you. I think Sylvanas is gankable, and I don't like to just march down the lane in full view with the mercenaries.
Right, and in my experience, Kristen only runs Mercenary Queen on one map when it's in rotation, Haunted Mines, because the suicide units do increased damage. And when they run in, you're done with them. You don't have to hover in the area, hoping to eke out that bit of effectiveness on your level 1 talent.
I learned something today. I never thought about that. That's a really good point.
Yeah. Plus, oh my God, have you been on Dragonshire yet with the new change?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude, almighty, bottom lane. I mean, we've talked about winning or building a win condition by taking the double giants, and we're like, if you want to take a bruiser, maybe you should go for it. Now with that aura, 30% spell armor to everything. We had a Kalephos on the other side too. He was trying his darndest, but he can't clear it. 30% reduction is huge for that whole wave in your entire team. That thing is a death sentence.
Yeah, I've been able
to pull it off.
It's not the end of the world for my Zagara, but I'm having to work way harder than I ever used to. Trying to kill that damn wizard or the damn mage. The other thing I noticed, dude. Did we know that when you were taking the camp for the Hellbats that was it Hellbats or Hellions? They're Hellions.
No, that's their car form. They're Hellbats when they're standing up.
Hellbats when they're standing up. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Were we aware that when you're taking the Hellbats, they never debuff you past minus 25 armor?
No, they don't. They only take you to that minimum of 25.
Yeah,
That's the maximum.
Yeah, I thought it stacked more for some reason.
I thought that too. And the way the language put it, we were seeing that 100 minus armor, but that's only to get to 25 if you were also maximum armored to the 75.
Oh, gotcha. So
not the prettiest system, but that's why it said minus 100. Because your max armor you can have is 75, and the max reduced armor vulnerability you can have is 25.
Yeah, my first game where I tried to take Hellbats, I just didn't for a while, and I was like, well, damn it, I normally would here. Let me just get in there and try it. And I was like, oh, it's only minus 25. This I can deal with.
Yeah, I thought we were all going to explode and never be able to take those again by ourselves.
Yeah. It's still more difficult than Siege Giants. Siege Giants, man, I love it. I'm already seeing everyone in every game dance. They're just doing the Siege Giant dance, and it's wonderful.
And Hanzo's really good at it, too, actually.
The memo has been received.
He's good on mercs.
Yeah. Anyway, to Kate's second question, he says he has a confident stable of 15 heroes or more. Man, I find it hard to believe that he finds himself in situations where he can't take a hero that he would like. But do you have a concrete answer for this? Because mine is to just at that point, utilize your knowledge of the game, your meta knowledge to the best of your ability. It sounds like if you know you shouldn't be taking some of those heroes, even if they're open, you know what you do need.
Yeah. There's seductions that we have to battle. Kel'Thuzad is one for me that's fresh in my mind. Poor Jeff and Kristen had to carry this weekend as Gorath, John, and I all went, Kerrigan sounds great. Oh, yeah, do you still play Kerrigan? Not recently? Oh, that's fine. And then John goes, would Stitches be good here? I never play Stitches. And yeah, that's great. And I was like, I'm going to KT. This will be awesome. And the whole team was drafted full of flighty little deer and flipping ladies and Zool. So I couldn't hit any of my chains. Just completely sucking. None of us can hit a thing. Jeff and Kristen are busting butts carrying this entire game because we got cute.
Yeah.
I was seduced by my previous thoughts about quick match where I stomp in those environments, and then ending up in a draft area, people wiggled. They were prepared for the initial chain. They dodged it, and then I had nothing to work with.
Well, I mean, I think don't get cute might be a little too reductive, but that's a good point. Like, if you're going to play something you don't feel confident with, at least minimize the damage as much as you can by not playing a high skill cap character. Like, so if you're like, man, we need a Kel'Thuzad right now, but you don't play Kel'Thuzad, don't pick Kel'Thuzad. Just don't do it. Go grab any other spell damage based hero that is a little more fire and forget. Just pick up the Kael'thas. It doesn't matter if the Kel'Thuzad would be better. Get the original KT. Just throw some flame strikes and hope for the best.
Right. There's something Dunk Train says around his stream that I like a lot. We're trying to make things a little funner, a little harder, but we're not trying to lose. He was talking about Reign of Destruction in that case, whether or not he could take it in that game. It's true.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that's not overly cute.
Yeah.
I would also say, too, you're absolutely 15 is a lot. I would take it down, and I'd even say, a really relaxing thing that I do is if we're off my main 3, which right now is Artanis, Greymane, and Uther. There's a Stukov there. I like him a lot, but his win rate's about 42%. I love playing him, though. I love playing Zarya. I like a lot of heroes. I love Ragnaros. As soon as I'm off my main 3, 50%. I'm flipping a coin, and I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to do everything I can to win. But you know what? I'm not going to take it personally. Doesn't matter.
Good place to have your head at.
Healthy.
Yeah. So hopefully
and fun. Very fun. It's fun to break your core roster.
Yeah. But hopefully that was helpful for you, Kate. Good luck out there. I am a huge Sylvanas fan. I'd play her every game if I could get away with it personally. Really like playing her. But if you're not already trying other specialists, give them a try. I'm going to be selling specialists until I feel like it just don't work no more.
Yeah, what would be our... Because we have like the half specialists, kind of Sonias and Dahakas and whatnot. Currently, our positive win rate specialists are... Should I read this list? I don't think you want me reading this list, actually. Because it starts with Probius and Gazlo.
With some of the maps that are in rotation right now, Gazlo sounds really nice, actually.
Could be. Some point control. Asmodan's out, though.
Yeah.
As weird as that is.
I mean, Gazlo, I'm in on, okay? Like, he actually has a decent number of games played, looking at Hotslogs. Probius does not have a lot of games played.
No, he can be very oppressive, but much like Abathur, you're just going to give your team a little bit of a body light situation. And Gazlo, he has to have enough CC to actually close in as a melee hero.
Yeah, and if I swap it to just since the 10th, which gets us the closest to Tuesday as possible, Nazebo's number 2 overall, all leagues, all maps. The top 3 are specialists: Probius, Nazebo, Gazlo, but Probius doesn't even have 300 games logged.
Not a lot of Probius mains out there in the world.
No. So he's sitting on top, but he also has very, very few games played. And that's something we always talk about the pitfalls of treating Hotslogs as scripture, because it's not perfect. It's just the only thing we really have to look at for raw stats. But look at the other columns. Look at games played when you're looking at these numbers to see, how conclusive it is. So Probius sitting at under 300 games played, Gazlo sitting at under 1,000 games played, but Nazebo sitting at 4,500 games played and still rocking a 54% win rate.
Yeah, and we can read a bit more accuracy there. Mm-hmm. My anecdotes, if I continue to climb and do the season as I hope to, are going to be awful. They won't be very useful, I'm afraid. I had a situation come up today where a guy first showed a Murky. And this is among fellow Master Leaguers. And they're all like, sweet dude, good to see you, man. Welcome back. Because it's so small. Like, this guy was known for his Murky. In fact, they asked Murky if he'd be willing to play Lost Vikings. And he was like, yeah, that works. I like this. And I got another game. Butcher, first pick. And we're all like, okay, that looks pretty good. They first pick Artanis. There's a blind on the field, global. And we say, Butcher, probably not the best. And he says, I got this. Picks Murky. And everyone's like, awesome. Murky's great.
What maps were these? Do you remember?
The Murky one was Warhead Junction. So Murky actually was great in that instance.
Okay. Because I know I was looking at Battleground stats earlier, and Warhead Junction's not that far above 50%. But Sky Temple Infernal Shrines, he's kind of running away with it.
That's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense because you're really spread out. Same with Warhead Junction, but I wonder, he probably, because of the size of the map, has a soak problem when he dies.
Yeah, but I mean, since Sunday, he's dropped 3.5%, but he's still over 50%. Murky's fine. There's a world for Murky right now. And there's some passionate Murky players, and I'm trusting them. I could see where you might, if you haven't seen one in a while, and you're looking at Masters players going, wait, what? What world is this? But I'm getting pretty calm when I see a Murky picked right now.
That begs the question, though. What's the most tilting site for you?
For me?
Yeah.
Right now, I haven't played enough games to really have an opinion on that. The one that's perplexing me the most is just in the 3 placement games I played. Zarya was in all of them. or at least considered for all of them.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
Again, we're seeing that influence of the double support through a bruiser. So I'm seeing a lot of Zarya's too.
Yeah, I think I'm just having meta shock because I also saw like a first pick Li Ming, and in my head I was just like, this is going to go poorly, and we rocked it. Again, I'm trying to remember the game, but I think we had enough lockdown between a Murd and Stun and Zombie Wall. But once they were in there, man, the Li Ming just opened up. So it's been weird. I'm learning, but I'm having fun while I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
My ego is just bruised, is all.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And that's not fair for a machine to tell you how you feel.
Well, that's why I'm trying very hard to not let it have that effect on me. I would recommend everyone else try that very hard as well, and just try and enjoy the game and improve and work with what the game throws your way. So I think it's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. I'm actually really excited to play some more damn Heroes, and I'm excited to play some after show games. So stick around if you're in the live chat right now. Patrons first come, first serve, and if we've got a dearth of patrons, then we shall pull from the Twitch chat. Thank you again, speaking of our patrons, for supporting us over at patreon.com/ITN. Huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Declan H. and Cheesy Bob. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Into the Nexus t-shirts. We have them for sale. Shirts.amove.tv. Go check them out. There's also custom etched glassware. That shop is back up and running. So if you want a pint glass or a coffee mug or a wine glass with Instant Nexus on it, go check out etched.amove.tv. Same folks that make those one-off trophy pint glasses for the Angriest Chicken Open, which are super cool if you haven't seen them, by the way. Johnny O and his wife, they do some wonderful work over there. So go check it out. You can catch us live usually on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but happy Star Wars Eve, everybody. We're doing it one day earlier. We'll be back next week at our normal day and time. Come join us at twitch.tv/AMoveTV. Follow the show on Twitter at ITNcast. Got to thank Gorath for our rockin' intro music, BrianGriffithMusic.com for our equally rockin' outro music. Kyle, when you're not doing this, when you're not going into the Nexus with me, where can folks find you?
You can find me over at KyleFergusson.com. There are still, I added some more, still lessons available for next week and the following week if you're looking for a last-minute Christmas gift. Lessons are available at various times. Check out KyleFergusson.com, and shows continue. Twitch.tv/KyleFergusson. Holidays will make things a little weird, but this coming Monday, I'm doing a replay review show. So if you are looking to get some advice on your hero's play, particularly if it's your main hero, shoot that over to soloqacast@gmail.com, and I'll collect it there and be reviewing at 5 p.m. Pacific time at twitch.tv/KyleFergusson on Monday.
Well, then we can have if you want to watch live entertainment, then A-Move's got you covered all damn day, it sounds like, because that morning you and I have our new show, Week Sauce, which is spelt like the days of the week, WEEK sauce, all one word, where you and I wake up Monday morning and we just have a chat and enjoy some coffee, and we see where the conversation takes us. But this following Monday, we're also doing the Angry Chicken a day earlier than usual at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to make room for holiday traveling that we'll be getting on. And that will actually be the final Angry Chicken of the year because everyone's traveling after that. And then they can check out your stream immediately after.
Well done by us.
On accident, by the way. I didn't know you were doing that. So
That's fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. It's been weird scheduling, but Into the Nexus should not be impacted anymore as next week's episode falls on the 21st, nothing going on. The week following that, the 28th, nothing going on. Expect a Dunk Train next week if everything goes according to plan, and Jeff Canada to join us for the final Into the Nexus of the year if everything goes according to plan as well. So that should be fun. Follow me on Twitter at GarrettArt, everybody, and amove.tv for all of the podcasts. There's some great stuff happening in Blizzard games right now, so if you like Hearthstone and you like Heroes, we definitely got you covered. Check it out. Have fun. And I already ruined half of my outro. Until next time, folks, good luck and have fun.
Take care. I see that. So you said fun, and then you got one of those fun situations.
Yeah, I said, good luck out there, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Yeah,
Nobody listens to the end of the podcast.
Nobody. That's why you do announcements at the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I turned it off. There's too many shows to listen to. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I could admit to what's a non-offensive inflammatory thing I could admit to that I'm not actually admitting to?
You like picking your toes?
Yeah, I could say I like picking my toes. No one would ever hear it. Twitch would hear it because they're awesome. They stick around for after show games. But
That's true.
The large download numbers of the actual podcast, no one would ever hear that. Nobody would ever hear that. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. All right.
As far as I'm concerned, you are invisible in your own vehicle and should be picking your nose at all times. What else is there to do?
Oh, Muffin Pickle loves picking my toes as well. Very kind of you, Muffin Pickle. It's a lot of work, you know. Sometimes you just gotta pull in a pinch toe picker. Toe ticker? Toe picker.
You got 2 feet, you know? Takes 2 hands.
You got 2 nostrils.
That's true. That's why you have 2 hands.
You know what else I have 2 of?
Yes.
We'll leave it at that. Chat room is asking for a repeat on the email address for VOD submission.
Cool. I will throw that right here, and I will do it without the .com because it may get mad. That's it right there. SoloQAcast@gmail. Very similar thing to what I do in coaching, except for you're not there to talk with me through it. Depends, though. In some coaching instances, it's more about execution over reviewing exact situations. If you're platinum above, we'd probably watch a replay together in your session. If you were lower, I'd probably watch those replays without you and then give you the combos, the execution you need on the other side. So a bit of a different situation, but still a great opportunity if you're looking for some help out there. All you saw was that Gmail. Perfect. SoloQAcast. All right, that's at Gmail.
Solo, letter Q, letter A, cast at Gmail.
Yep.
Done. There it is. Spelt out. I'm just saving the podcast in case the worst should happen.
Cool.
Did you have any issues with Heroes Performance, dude, after the Windows Creators Update?
No, I didn't install it.
Oh, good man.
Yeah.
I think I figured it out. It just turns on the Xbox app game recording.
Oh, no.
Really screws with Heroes Performance. So all you have to do is just fire that up, turn that off, and you're good.
That's been auto running on our other computer. I need to turn that off.
Yes.
I don't stream, so I don't bork the machine in half by running 2 streaming services at once. But
I'm not sure. Can you even remove the Xbox app? I think it might be permanently installed.
Then I would have to revert. But yeah, that computer's been whistling a little bit. I start up yours and it goes.
It's okay if you can't uninstall it. It's just a little tick. It's an option just in the settings for the app. In your Windows settings, you can go in and just turn off the recording feature. And that's what kills Heroes. I don't think you can uninstall it. I wouldn't want to because that's how I play my Xbox Anywhere games. But yeah. Cool stuff. Shall we hand the stream back over to you, even though we're going to stream on your own stream?
Yeah, I'll stream on my own stream from my streaming stream.
Okay, we're just going to swap who's streaming. Because my computer does not like streaming Heroes anymore. We're going to do the handoff. Stream's going to go down. We'll still be here. Don't go anywhere.